Hello and a very good evening to all joining me on this News9 Facebook Live, and I'm here to tell you the latest on the coronavirus numbers. I'm Pratibha. You can join me with your comments as well on what you think of the situation right now in the country, what we have done wrong, what we can do in the coming days and weeks until we have a solution or a fight against coronavirus. India has passed the grim milestone of 2 million cases, and today I'm going to talk about that, on what went wrong and what we can do next. Of course, we've learned a lot more in our journey to the 2 million cases on what exactly went wrong. In several cases, a lot of things have also improved, but in terms of several cases, things are also taking a downturn. So talking about the cases that have come to light as of now, on the numbers that have been reported as of now, the biggest question as of now continues to be, of course, the fact that we are seeing even now the tests that have been conducted are not enough, and that remains the biggest challenge for India. We've crossed the 2 million mark in terms of the number of cases that have been reported, but as we've been speaking, we have spoken about how the recovery rate in India is much better than it is globally. In India, the number of deaths is also much lower compared to the other countries. In terms of the mortality rate in India, it is a little over 2%, 2.07% is what it is in India. In a lot of other countries and globally as well, it is over 3%. So in terms of deaths as well, India is doing much better. But talking about what the situation has been like over the last few days, in just 10 days, we have seen a massive increase in the numbers that have been reported. Almost every single day now, we're seeing over 50,000 cases being reported. It has already been 7 days consecutively that we've had over 50,000 cases. Now, in fact, we are seeing as many as over 62,000 cases in 24 hours span that we're seeing. The Union Health Ministry has said that now we are conducting more tests, and that's the reason why there are more cases being detected. But from reaching 1 million cases to 2 million, that is to cross 1 million cases, India took only 20 days. And that speaks volumes about how fast the cases are growing as of now in the country. Yet again, of course, the word of caution going out that we should not let our guard down. So talking about the tests that have been conducted, 10 million tests have been conducted in India. And we heard an earlier statement that was made by President Trump that US has conducted the most number of tests across the world. And after that, India has conducted the most tests. So yes, in terms of numbers, India has conducted a lot of tests, because 10 million is a very good milestone in terms of the number of tests that have been conducted. But going by how many cases are being detected and going by the numbers in a few other countries, it is much lower in India. And there is no doubt about the fact that, considering that out of the cases that are being reported, the total numbers that are turning positive, it's absolutely clear that India needs to do more testing. Apart from that, another factor that has led to the sudden increase in the number of cases is also not having effective testing. Every time we talk about what has gone wrong in India's fight against coronavirus, even if to a certain extent we might have done well, there are several other places where we might have slipped up. The first thing that comes to mind is a hasty lockdown. Whether the lockdown was imposed at the right time or not is a debate that has been going on for a long time. There are different views coming in on the lockdown itself. It might have delayed the pandemic, but a lot more could have done in dealing with the crisis. It goes without saying that the migrant crisis was also out of hand for the government. It looked like there was not enough preparedness. Another very big factor is awareness, that people were not aware of how grim the situation could be. And in some cases, there was a lot more fear than what the situation was. In case of the migrants especially, there was a lot of fear, a lot of misinformation that went on as well. That is something that the government could not control, because of which there was a large movement of people, and that contributed to a widespread of coronavirus cases. So these are some of the contributing factors that we've spoken of. Other than these, there are also administrative issues that we need to talk about. This is a little more micro in terms of the cases that have been reported. There was not enough testing and tracing conducted. Initial diagnosis of coronavirus would have also helped if in case a person has tested positive, if they were aware that they've tested positive with the proper checks being conducted, then things could have been much better handled. So tracing the cases and treating the cases, this is something where India has lacked as well. Apart from that, ramping up testing, that's something that the Union Health Ministry is looking at. Even if our numbers are quite good as of now, it needs to improve drastically in terms of our population, in terms of the number of population. And now we are looking at the for per 10,000 cases that are being reported, the number of people that have tested positive, if you take a ratio of that, it is much
higher than it is globally, which means more tests need to be conducted, and we need to reach a milestone where only 1% of those who are being tested are turning positive, and that's a good sign that we are conducting enough tests. Experts also believe that one of the major factors why now over the last few weeks we're seeing a sudden spike in the number of cases is because now people have more or less accepted, and this is the most important part of it as well. Now it looks like people have accepted that yes, coronavirus is here to stay. We cannot run away from it. Now we have no option but to accept it, and this in a certain sense has also led to a sudden increase in the cases because people are not taking as many precautions as they were. Of course, the situation has also changed a lot more after the lockdown, because now people are returning to work. There's much more travel happening, so these restrictions are being eased as well. But more importantly, it is the people who have accepted that coronavirus is here to stay. Because of it, several precautions are not being taken, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we're seeing a sudden spurge in the number of cases that are being reported. So I'll conclude the talk yet again by giving out the message of ensuring that you stay safe. Yes, it definitely looks like we're in it for a long haul. We don't have the vaccines yet. We don't know when this pandemic is going to end. There's only one set of precautions that we can take, which we've been taking until now. So the message going out from the experts as well is, no matter what or how grim the situation looks like, you continue to take the precautions that you have been taking. It's not too difficult as well to maintain personal hygiene, as well as to ensure you have social distancing, physical distance, as well as sanitizing as much as possible. These are some of the things that we know of, wearing masks, to continue following these guidelines that have been given. And of course, to be also prepared if any situation comes about. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Stay home and stay safe as much as you can. Take care.